Okay, so today I'm doing my lesson planning. We use Abeka, and the kids I have in Abeka, they're in K5 and they're first. So last week I showed you how we organize everything. So here's my homemade planner. I couldn't make myself spend 20-30 bucks on a planner, so I'm trying this one for now. This is a chart I got from the back of our Abeka book, and it came blank, and it says to copy it on and then write in the days you're supposed to do. What I haven't highlighted, I've got my key up here for myself, or if I do have somebody that'll help me. The first day of school, I just had a square around the box, and the days off, I have the whole box highlighted. The only thing different with this that we're doing now is we're taking Wednesdays off instead of Fridays, but that's not a big deal for this because it's still the same number of days per week. We also have little days throughout the year, birthdays, and just miscellaneous days that we'll take off if we need to, or if we get really sick. We're not going to do school. That's the beauty of homeschooling. I don't have to make them do school sick. But when I started the year, I went through and I planned out for one lesson per day and took it all the way through. Doing one lesson per day, we weren't set to end until May 24th. Well, we're already almost 3 weeks ahead of ourselves because the kids are ready for lesson 16, and we're gonna start again Monday with school. We're done for this week, so we're already 2 weeks ahead of ourselves, so that's pretty awesome. But that one I will adjust. I will rewrite the numbers as we go through the school year and do lesson plans every week. So this is my lesson planning notebook, and Eagles Nest Academy, if we needed a school name for one thing or another, I signed up for on the internet, and that's what I picked. And I've got a line for the Bible lesson, a line for Andrew that I use a highlighter for, and Ava and Grace. And no school is the same color as on the year chart. And this is in a style of like a bullet journal. Somebody showed me how to do that a couple years ago. I decided to try that for our homeschool book. So I've just got an index here that's got the months on the pages. And this was our plans for the end of July for when we started. And I went through. Grace is just doing her alphabet, learning how to write correctly and having some fun with it. So she's a letter a week. She's done A and B, but I separated the same way as I separated the big kids because that's what's easiest on me. The day off we make sure they're doing something to keep their minds busy. Sometimes it's just YouTube videos, sometimes it's goofing off with Daddy. In Andrew's curriculum, it's got memory verses set out. It's about every 6-8 weeks that they trade. This is what he's working on right now. In John 3:14 through 19. So we can do a new verse every week, and then we also keep building on it. The end of August, we will change over to Psalms as long as he's got the John verses memorized. We're not going to switch over unless he has those verses memorized. So this is my August calendar. And I'll keep going through as I do my week by week plannings. I'll keep going through and I'll add what lessons to this day. It helps me keep track as to where we are if we get sick and we get off and we forget where we are, or for whatever reason. I have this quick, easy reference that I can say, okay, we completed this lesson, so we need to get ready for this one next. And it just goes that way all the way through until we get to May. And there are no pages in between each month, so I can make notes if we need to do anything special that month or anything's coming up, or what the memory verses are. And over here, this is a 3-subject binder. So I've got the calendar in the first subject, and in the second subject, I plan out 2 weeks ahead. The kids are still very much in their review, and what I was doing these past 2 weeks was if they had a test or a review of some sort, they only had to do one lesson that day. They have to get through one lesson per day. If they want to do more, then we go get more. How I have it set out in our work boxes, it's real easy for me to go grab another manila folder of the next lesson out if they want to do more that day. Ava's still doing K5. She did 4 lessons the other day, so she's really ahead of herself. which is awesome. We're taking things slow, though. We're making sure she knows what she's doing and remembers what she's doing, because it doesn't matter how fast we go. It matters that she knows what she's doing. Andrew is still in the review part. He is getting a few new things here and there. He just started subtraction today, and he was really excited about that. So here's what I do for planning. And where did I put my pen? There's my pen. Okay, so I've got Ava's paper all written out, and we're going, hush please. This is for next week, Monday, so I'll just label it with an M. So we've got Bible, and we've got phonics, and we've got math, and writing. She's not starting her reading yet. And every once in a while, she listens in on social studies with Andrew. She does the Bible with Andrew. Every once in a while, they'll have something that's called Think and Learn. And it's just teaching them beginning critical thinking. If you're going to do this, then you have to do this. Or fill in the blank. Or complete the picture. Something's missing in this group of pictures. Complete the picture. So this is the K-5 curriculum and lesson plans. We need to get over here. It's the teacher's book, really, for Abeka's K-5. And I used it a lot last year, so there's really not much that I have to do as far as highlighting. But what I did last year with Andrew was I would go through and I would highlight to make sure I remember to do this. Or if there's something I have to read aloud and she has to listen for the sounds, to mark it on her paper with the phonics. This is something we need to do. So I make sure I highlight it so it's easy for me to find. So lesson 16 for her phonics, and you can see we've got a riddle about the letter T to read, and she's supposed to help fill in the blank when I read it out loud. It's a clue, that kind of thing. The difference between consonants and vowels. This says for lesson 16 she doesn't have a phonics paper, she just has the riddles. So up here on mine, I'm going to write down that she has a riddle in the book that I will have to read to her. And then hers, it's got the whole lesson all together. Andrew's is different, so Andrew's I have to do a different way. And the handwriting, she does a page or two a day. I make sure that she can do her best to write that letter, however it is she needs to write it, before we move on. I don't want to rush her through cursive and have her get bad habits. I did that with Andrew for half the book, and I'm regretting it now. So I want to make sure she knows what she's doing to try and write the letters. It's still going to take practice, and she will get it as long as we take our time and make sure she understands. Now, Abeka's K-5 does have their own social studies. She went through it last year with Andrew, so she's listening in on what he's got this year. And she asks questions when she doesn't. Now, because there's really not that much for lesson 16, she's supposed to practice counting to 20, which she does all the time because they play hide and seek all the time. She's supposed to practice shapes. We don't need to do that. She knows her numbers. So we're going to skip over that because I know she knows it. And we're going to go ahead and add lesson 17. And it says she's supposed to start the blend ladders, so that could get interesting. So she's supposed to start the blend ladders, so I'm going to add that up here. I hope my battery lasts. I might have to plug it in and unplug my phone. So we're going to start the blend ladders. And still working on T and its letter, its vowel sounds that go with it. And she's got, see right here, it says she's got page 13 to do with the letters and sounds workbook. So I'm going to add that up here. And that's page 13 and 14. Oh no, 14's handwriting, I'm sorry. Page 13, and that's all she's got to do. And then for the numbers, she's supposed to practice number 3. Please excuse the kids in the background. and writing number 3, and she's supposed to complete page 13 in her book. So we're going to come up here, we're going to do that. I do have kindergarten paper that we'll practice if we need the extra. Usually when they start a new number, they have practice tracing and writing on the math page. And so if she needs more after that, then I'll get a piece of preschool paper out and write whatever it is and highlight her so I can see how she's tracing it, whether she's doing it right or not. If she needs more practice, we do the same thing with the letters, what she needs. So that's all for 17. I'm just going to plan on that. Something tells me she's going to want to do one more lesson that day, and that's fine. Please stop fighting! Now, I just go through that. I do 2 weeks at a time, and if we do more on that one, if we do more a day, then I will take a few minutes during the week, and I will make sure I've got what I need to finish the time off that I've got planned. I'm going to go ahead and do a day for Andrew, and that'll show you what that's like. So for Andrew, he's also on lesson 16. He's been doing 2 lessons a day, and he's been having fun with it. He likes doing 2 lessons a day. So for Bible, he's on John 3:14 through 16. They memorized John 3:16 last year, so we're just going to review for this week and make sure they've got those down. And then we're going to make our list here. Phonics and math and writing and reading and history. We are doing a page a day in the Abeka history program. It's history, social studies, geography, kind of all wrapped into one book while they're still so little. He's only in 1st grade. So then we're going to come over here and do the history. How I do with Andrew is he gets his papers pulled out. And I show him this is what you have to do today. And you also have your cursive, your reading, and your history. And then he gets to choose what order things go in. Some days he does all the worksheets first. Some days he wants to do a worksheet, then do some reading, then do a worksheet, then do some reading. It depends on the kind of day he's having and how he's feeling, and that's just fine. It doesn't matter to me what order they do them in, as long as they do them. There are some things you need to say it has to be done this way, and there are some things I think where you can be a little bit flexible and, well, as long as it gets done, let's just get it done. So for Andrews, it is the old version. They update every 5 to 6 years, I believe they said. They update a grade every 5 to 6 years. This is the old version, so there's a little bit that's got the pages off, but it's workable. I've noticed it more in the math than I have the phonics so far. But I'm still going through, and there's a lot of it that I can look at the paper and say, okay, this is what it is, and we don't even need to get this out. And there's a lot of it where I'm going, what is that supposed to be? So I have to get the books out and try and figure out what's going on. Now, I don't go strictly by the book. I use it as a guideline, and I use it to help me if I need the extra help to figure out what is going on or what we need to be doing. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Now, my guy, and this might change with Ava, we'll see when she starts reading. For now, Andrew does not like just reading random words like this. It drives him crazy. He wants things to make sense. But he's reading very well, I think, so he's got 2 books going right now. He's got Harold and the Purple Crayon, and we started him on the 3rd Abeka reader for 1st grade. It's called Stepping Stones, and he's breezing right through that. So we're skipping a lot of just the practice the individual words because he's doing really, really well at sounding out the words as he goes through and reads it.